Hey everyone, it's Mariah Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. So I know it's late, but this is my March plan with me. I decided on a really cool theme for this month. It's kind of like black and white only, with the exception of a tiny bit of gray and sparkle. So my monthly layout is kind of the typical one I do. It's like a square grid, calendar shaped. The boxes are 6 dots by 6 dots. And then I decided to put my task monthly big task list back onto my monthly page this month and do a separate habit tracker. So that's what you're going to see here. So I literally gathered up every single pen that I had that was gray or black or silver or sparkly or something kind of in that category. And then I sorted through them and decided which ones I was going to use. So I started out, I knew I wanted to trace the outside of the calendar because my plan was to color everything else around it black. So this is called Blackout. And I saw a picture of it on Pinterest and I just fell in love. So I decided that's what I was going to do. So first I went through with the Tombow mono drawing pen in size 05 and I outlined everything. And what's so funny here is you can see that I'm wearing a bathrobe. All I could think the whole time I was editing this was #bathrobe. And as you can see here, I kind of made a little bit of a mistake, but I didn't really go in and fix it because I knew everything else was going to be colored in black, so I could fix it after. One thing I did do, though, because I wanted the 03 for March to be outlined, I used the 1,5 pen from Faber Castell to color the inside and kind of around the letters. So I actually did a full testing page of all of these black pens and my white pens. I got a new paint pen. It's from Sakura. It's a Pen Touch fine point 1.0 millimeter quick dry permanent white. I believe it's a paint pen. And so actually in doing that testing, I figured out that the small brush pen and my 1,5 from Faber-Castell are actually the blackest pens that I have. So I basically just went through at this point and started coloring in. I started using a ruler, which I really was glad that I did so. The only downside was that because the ink is so black and I didn't wipe off the edge of the ruler, I did kind of get some like black smearing. So if you are going to do this, just use like a baby wipe. I have kind of my makeup in the same area as I film in the same area. So I had like some 70% alcohol and I kind of just like sprayed it down with that and just was wiping off the ruler after the initial filming of this, and that worked for the rest of the month's spreads. And the reason why I had this paper was to try to eliminate staining. But as you can kind of see, my contact paper that I film on, I drew on it on accident, so I was a little bit bummed out about that because it's all white and I couldn't get it off because, as we know, the Faber-Castell pens are waterproof India ink, so they're super duper durable. I did end up correcting my little smearing mistakes that I mentioned. Oh, my phone's reminding me it's time for bed. Okay, thank you. So, fixing my mistakes. So I used the Uniball Pentel white gel pen to do so. And this is actually day 2. So I filmed the first day, period of time I did the monthly log, and then the second day I did the rest. So here is my habit tracker, and I went back again to kind of the little calendar layout. I used the 1,5 Faber Castell artist pen to do the little headers, and originally I was going to box them off, color them all in black, and then write over them in white, but I decided to do something a little different on the fly. I did almost these they're almost like little shelves, so they don't have a top to them, and then the title is kind of sitting inside them. So I ended up liking kind of the look of that. And just a side note, for everyone that watches these videos, on average, my videos are sped up about 300%, and in this portion, it sped up by 500%. So 500%. Sorry, my voice kind of crackled there. So just be realistic with yourself. Enjoy the process of setting up your journal, and try not to compare to people who put their stuff on the internet, because we're human too, and we don't write 100 miles an hour. So for my title, I decided to do almost like a sign, kind of flag thing. Like I had one in a stencil that was smaller size, and I kind of just used the shape as an imitation. And I again went in with my small brush pen from Faber Castell and colored in so it would be a rich black. And for the so this is the only part of the finances spread that I show this month, because it's the same as last month. So I just outlined in 1,5. And I freehanded that versus drawing the rest with a ruler, which is what I did for the rest of the month. So for the numbers of the calendars, I used the Tombow mono drawing pen in 05, and I drew all the calendars out, and then I decided to actually rearrange the habits that I was tracking, and then leave an extra space, which I have since filled in with an additional habit. And I've been going in and kind of to fill them in, I kind of circle it with my silver Uniball pen, and I kind of love the look of it. So I have like little silver circles. So that is, I guess, one advantage of doing the voiceover after I've started using these spreads. So I can give you guys a little functionality, what I'm doing functionality wise. So for the title of this, I'm using my new Sakura Pen Touch 1.0 millimeter paint pen. So I loved using that. It didn't bleed. It looked really good over that black. And then we switched over to my YouTube spread. So one thing that I think is really important about setting these up is that you can change things and make things into whatever you need them to be. So this spread originally, when I did it in pencil, was like 4 rows higher on the page, and I decided I didn't like that. So before I went in with pen, I wrote myself a note, move down 4 rows. So I was able to do that, and I liked that I put it in the middle of the spread this time, so I can have calendar stuff on one side and kind of notes on the other, and tie them maybe even together to a specific day. So for Headspace and Gratitude, I decided to split it in half, and I originally was going to use the tape to kind of help me color in and black out everything, but then I decided not to do that. So on the left-hand column is the Headspace, and I broke it up by week. So each box is for 1 week. So the numbers don't go continuously down the page. There's like a gap in between each week. And as you can kind of tell here, I'm not continually moving the ruler around. That's because I'm wiping it off, like I said at the beginning, after every use, just so I'm not, you can kind of see my little baby wipe there, getting the rest of my spreads dirty. And this was very helpful. And me, I'm just double counting just to make sure everything's spaced correctly, because when you're using such a thick black marker, it's hard to fix a mistake like that. And the numbers for this spread are going to be shared between the headspace headers and the gratitude headers. And it's kind of just going to be a 2 wide box kind of down the middle. And I didn't draw the numbers in the actual box, like in a specific box. I drew it like in between the two. Because normally I'm pretty, like I draw it exactly in the lines, but I didn't do that this time. And now that I've actually been using this, I tend to, when I write gratitude, it's more like sentences, not words. So this was my way of forcing myself to kind of use the spread. And I have been using it, and I feel like I don't have enough space. So next month, I'm definitely going to, again, go back to a full page. This is for cleaning, and then brain dumping is at the bottom. I ended up dividing the bottom box in half again, just so there's not so much open space for me to just dump ideas into. And then that I just did yesterday, I believe. So again, I change things as I go. For the title of this, I just decided to write cleaning. I didn't want to add anything else to it. I maybe I will, maybe I won't. So I just kind of I'm using the 1,5 Faber Castell PITT artist pen to do all of this outlining, and then I use the small brush pen to color it in. And again, any mistakes that I made, I'm using the Uniball white gel pen to fix. And one thing that is super cool that I did this month is to go with the black and white theme. Ooh, let's talk about my cover page first. Okay, so as you can see, my phone is on the left, and I saw this pin, and it says, "Oh my darling," and it was almost like a little sign you would hang up for a party, and I really liked that, and it was more like, "Oh my darling," and so I decided to just do that as my cover page for this month. I did the top word in 1,5, the word my in small brush pen, and the word darling I used Tombow mono drawing pen 05, and then I went in with a Pentel sparkle pen to kind of do some kind of outlining to add depth to it. So I liked how that came out. Here's a little flip through. I had forgotten to do the titles on this page, so I went through and did that with the 1,5 and the mono drawing pen for the numbers down the center. So when drawing week by week, I forgot originally to put an extra space in there, so that's why I had to stop and fix that. And then the cool thing I did this month, because I loved the look of this spread. I looked at this spread and I was like, oh, I wish all of them looked like this. And so I was like, what if I just outlined the pages, like the regular pages that I'm going to use to do my daily planning in? And so that's what I did. So originally I just did one because I wasn't sure how I was going to like the look and feel of it. Absolutely love it. So today I went through and did the next 2 pages to kind of get myself ready for the week. Depending on the week and the day, I use different amounts of space. So that's why I don't do as much pre-planning as I used to before. But yeah, I'm really, really absolutely loving these spreads. And I hope you do too. And as always, I want to thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!